If you happen to have a Sony MZ-1 MiniDisc recorder, the very first MiniDisc recorder ever to hit the market, then you surely know that it doesn't run on regular AA batteries. It used to have a dedicated battery pack called the BP MZ-1 battery pack. Now I purchased this MiniDisc recorder, I think in August '93, and only 6 years after the battery pack was actually dead, and it was already difficult to find a replacement battery pack at that time. So nowadays it is absolutely impossible to find a BP MZ-1 battery pack. However, why would you want to have the original battery pack if there is an alternative that gives you not anywhere less than 8 hours non-stop playing time on your MZ-1 while you're on the go? Remember, with the original battery pack, I think the maximum amount of time you could do with it was like 2 hours in playback and maybe 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and 15 minutes in recording mode. Now, what do you need to do to make your MZ-1 portable again if you don't have a BP MZ-1 battery pack, or if you have a BP MZ-1 battery pack but you want to extend your on-the-go time drastically? Very easily. Print out the brackets, for which you can find the link in the description to this video, and it is nothing more than these two small bits of plastic. This bit of plastic, basically this first bit, goes like this into the battery compartment. That's the first one. Just look very carefully at the direction. And then there is this second bracket, and it basically goes into the battery compartment after the batteries have been placed. So you need to print out these two brackets, or you have to find somebody who can print them for you. That's the brackets. Then the battery itself, unlike the block battery, which used to be sold together with the MZ-1 MiniDisc recorder, what you need to order through Amazon or somewhere else is the Samsung 18650 battery. Now I must say there's obviously different brands offering an 18650 battery, but I would really strongly advise you to go for the Samsung battery. That's where I get the best results from. I was talking about playback times of 8 hours. With these babies I can even stretch it to 10 hours and sometimes more. Now, of course, plastic doesn't conduct electricity, so what you also need is some conductive material. And I would advise to take these oven dishes, these aluminum oven dishes. Why these instead of just aluminum wrapping paper? Because you can very easily cut them to measure with a pair of scissors, and also they're a little bit sturdier and they stay better in place than the normal aluminum wrapping paper. So, how should you apply the aluminum to the brackets? I have an example in which this is already done. Let me show it. So for the bracket that goes into the recorder first, it looks like this. So basically, you make two small strips of aluminum and then you put them like this. Let me try to get it close to the camera and see that it focuses right. You have to put them like this on the bracket. In my case, I applied a little drop of glue so that the aluminum strips don't fall out. It's not mandatory. You can put the bracket in the recorder in such a way that the aluminum strips don't fall out, but it's always easier if you apply a drop of glue. That's the first bracket. For the second bracket, it looks like this. There is, should I say, two small indents. It's difficult to see here maybe, but there's two small indents in the bracket in which you can actually slide a strip of aluminum that you of course cut to the right dimensions. It's a little bit of experimenting and fiddling around, but you will see after all it's not that difficult. So how do you put the whole thing correctly into the recorder? Very easily. You just open the battery compartment, you put the recorder on its side, then you take the first bracket with the 2 strips of aluminium and you gently let it slide into the recorder. There's one thing I still need to show you. Let me quickly take out the bracket again. If you cut the aluminum strips, be careful that you don't make them too small. If you make them too small, and specifically this one, then there is no contact or no proper contact to the contacts within the recorder. So make them large enough. Don't be afraid of creating any shortcuts, because as you can see in between the aluminum strips there is more than enough space. So don't be afraid of shortcuts. So take the first bracket, let it gently slide into the recorder. Then you take the batteries themselves, and I really have to stress on the fact that you have to be very careful with the polarity. Sony did not put a rectifying diode into the circuit of the MZ-1, so if you reverse polarity, put it in the wrong way, then your MZ-1 is good to go to the bin. So as you can see here, the plus needs to go down. The plus on the battery is where you find this small indent. So you let the first battery slide gently into the recorder. Then you take the second battery, and as you can see it should be the other way around, with the minus down and the plus up. So let's put it into the recorder as well. And then goes the second bracket, which you just simply slide on top of the batteries, close the lid, and immediately you will see that your mini disc comes alive. Easy peasy. And that way you can enjoy up to 10-11 hours of music on the go with this ancient beast. There's one more thing I need to tell you. That is the charger of the batteries. The 18650 batteries cannot be charged with a normal charger that you would use for AA or AAA batteries. For this you need the extra VC2 charger or something equivalent, but I particularly like this one because it allows you to charge the 2 batteries individually, which means both batteries are always optimally charged, and also it stops charging automatically as soon as the batteries reach their voltage of 4.2 volts. It's really not an expensive charger. I think I only paid it maybe 14 euros on Amazon. And then you're good to go. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask through the comments or send me an email. You can also find me on Facebook. Thank you and bye bye.